marketplace fraud. So here in the GTA, they did this show, Marketplace, where they showed realtors actually promoting fraud, promoting it, like telling the clients, this is how we do fraud. If you give me $3,000 for my team or whatever, and then 1% extra for me, then we will have these documents, income documents, which would be like NOAs and T4s and pay stubs and job letters and all that. And then we'll have somebody sitting at the phone to verify it when the bank calls. And we're gonna, and the realtors were actually promoting this. And it seems like they're actually going after, I'm not sure about this part of it, but in that episode, it seemed like what they were going after was the new immigrants. The new immigrants that had, $100,000, $200,000, they would take them, give them jobs and profiles and all that stuff so they look like rock stars, and these guys could go out and buy any house basically they wanted. And this is what they promoted. Well, that's just one form of mortgage fraud. Like, it was bad. It certainly makes realtors look bad. And it seemed like it was all coming out of this one brokerage that they had. I believe it was. Should I say it? No, eh? I'm gonna. You watch the show and you'll see. The brokerage that it was coming out of, and they caught these guys red-handed. Like they caught them in the act. They were wearing a camera, and they put it right out there. And these guys promoting it. So so they were going after the new immigrants. So these new immigrants would get to the point where they need to get their home, and they just paid like $13,000 for their documents and everything. Come to closing, the bank can't close because I don't know, maybe the documents didn't work or whatever, and then they have to close. So the agent now gives them a mortgage, a private mortgage to bridge. And so they go into the agent's office. So it's almost like they've got this team of investors and they've got this scheme, this pipeline scheme that they're moving these people through. And then they give them a private mortgage, a $20,000 interest or something like that, I don't know, on the mortgage, which doesn't seem like a lot for $1 million mortgage, actually $20,000 interest. But they do that, and then these people now are stuck in these private mortgages trying to get out of them, and the only way they can get out of them if they do mortgage fraud, because they would never qualify in a normal way. And so so this got exposed, and one of the couples, when they found out that that it was fraud.
Oh, so they didn't even know.
They didn't know. When they found out it was fraud, they said no, they're not going to do it, and they're not going to sign. And then they complained to the bank. I don't know if I should mention the bank. Well, I guess it was Scotiabank, and Scotiabank, the mortgage agent there, charged them $5,000 to get the mortgage done through Scotiabank, and then. Once they found out the fraud, they said, no, I can't do that. And then they called Scotiabank and complained. Mm-hmm. Well, head office gave them their $5,000 back and told them to come and close all their accounts. Close all their accounts. Get your checking account out of here. You're a fraudster, so get out of here.
So they called to
complain,
even though they didn't know.
Yep.
And they still...
Well, they must have knew because they gave the $5,000. They didn't quite know what was going on because they're new to the country. But so they must have known something because they paid the $5,000. But once they found out what it was, then they
Well, no, but once they
notified
found out that
Scotia,
it was illegal.
right,
Yeah, so if they didn't know it was illegal when they get the $5,000,
Right.
then it was just a cost.
right.
Again, again, I don't know where they came from, which country they came from, but if you come to a new place and you don't know the laws and regulations, if someone says you want this house, it costs $5,000 for the paperwork. If you don't know any better,
You don't know any better.
yeah,
You
yeah,
give it.
yeah.
Yeah. I can see your point there. And so then, Scotiabank just booted them out of the bank. That's it. You're gone. And these people are like, "What? I thought I did the right thing."
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I would think.
You may have done the right thing, but if you kept your mouth shut, you would have had the house. And now you got your $100,000 deposit is lost, and it looks like they're going to be sued for about $300,000 because the $1 million house that they sold happened to have sold
But-
for 700,000, which really just shows how their realtor was not looking out for their big interest, for their
But wouldn't, if, sorry to interrupt you, but
best interest. I'm just going to say this. The realtor wasn't looking after their best interest because that house in a short period of time had a 30% drop in price, which means that he couldn't have negotiated the best deal for them. He was just doing a deal and raking them over the coals. That part, I gotta be honest. That's what I believe, because 30% didn't happen in any marketplace that quickly, and these people ended up selling that $1 million home for $700,000 in that period of time, and so they're then going to be taken to court, and they're saying, well, it's so unfortunate. We're going to have to probably go back. I think it was India. We're going to have to probably go back home because we just can't afford to live here. We lost our savings, and we're going to be in debt for another $300,000.
but this guy must be able to go after this realtor then.
Well,
I would think, especially with the fraud portion of it. If the realtor is the one who pushed the fraud portion of it to him, like I don't know.
yeah, no, I hear you. I'm sure there's going to be some problems. There's sure there are going to be some problems. But, I've been toying with this one for quite some time. I didn't really want to say it, but I really didn't want to say it. And I was, and I was talking with a friend last night. We were talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but one of the things was this whole mortgage fraud and how I wanted to do it on the show and, and that. But we had customers, so we have a mortgage arm as well. So we had customers that wanted to buy a home. They had been on the job for 2 months, so they hadn't they had not passed their the time for temporary, like when you start a job, usually within the first 3 months they can let you go for any reason. So they hadn't gotten past that stage. He had gotten out of school and he's new in the job. So, according to the rules in terms of banking, you cannot at all get them a mortgage until they've had work exposure for 2 years. Well, they walked into the bank, got a mortgage right from the bank. That's mortgage fraud. There's no way around it. The banks have really strict rules that they have to live up to because their mortgages get packaged into this mortgage-backed security, go onto the open market. So they've got certain rules that they got to follow. And it's unbelievable that the people think that the fraud is coming from here or there. It's coming from the institutions themselves. They're aggressively looking to get more deals through, and they've opened up this war chest because of profits and all this stuff of people who are I would say abusing the system, but right at the bank level. It's not just when it spreads out to, let's say it gets out as far as mortgage agents, real estate agents, it's already past the industry where it actually originates from. Because, so anyways, I didn't want to say that the banks are in on it, and they are. I don't believe, the top brass is in on it, but definitely the banks are in on it. And that's how she rolls. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. And please let us know your thoughts in the comments, as well as any questions you may have. We're live most Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to tune in. If you're interested in learning more about real estate, click the link in the description to sign up, and we'll send you a series of educational videos all about real estate. Thank you again for watching, and remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon so you can stay up to date on all our future uploads.